Hey, like I said in the intro, I wanted you to get to know me from the very beginning, so you know my own experiences in this life as Jamie, to know how I came to be who I am today, and maybe you can find some insight of your own to help if you need it. I was born in Kissimmee, Florida, and we lived in a trailer with my alcoholic mom, moving back and forth. She was mostly a lot on the run. Now, when you think of alcoholic parents, you, in my perspective, I think, from past situations, screaming kids around, crying because their parents are passed out on the couch or too busy to pay attention to them during some wine party or something. But to me, I never really fit into that category. I don't know if it was because I was from an early age or if it was just bred into me. But I have never been that needy, clingy baby child that really needed attention all the time and wanted mommy to hold me. And I'm very grateful for that. I am very grateful. Now, my mom took care of me and clothed me and let nobody, mess with me or anything like that. And didn't punish me, like beat me or anything like that, and just let me learn my own lessons. For example, as a baby in Orlando, I took it upon myself to walk down the road to the friend's house, and I'm not more than 4 or 5 at the time, not knowing any better, so I walked right in the house because my cat had run out of food. So I figured it was okay to go get the food, and walked right in the house and turned over the bag that was as big as I was at the time, and just walked right out. Later on, the little girl's mom had come by and started yelling at my mom. Knowing that she knew that, as I was hiding behind the tree, she never did get on to me about that after that. I think she kind of learned that I learned my lesson on that as my own experiences. Another time, I climbed into a kitten cage that I thought was regular sized kittens and turned into be wild bobcat kittens, and I understood that about 14,000 scratches later. But no, I was just like independent kid, just walked back home, and that probably could have been the incident that brought HRS to come get me that time. It wasn't because my mom had neglected me, malfed me, left me dirty without any clothes. It was my own independence as a child, and maybe I was a little bit too hard to keep up with, Later on, I lost my mom at age 6, and it hit me pretty hard then, but I was too afraid to explain it and even express my pain back then. So, I lashed out later on in my life when I turned into a teenager. Tried every drug I could, wanted to be bad, just like my mom and daddy. And turned out that was a lot of mistakes down the road that I could have missed and made an easier life for myself if I hadn't have. But everything happens for a reason, and I needed those experiences because of who I am. I'm pretty stubborn and tough, and it takes a pretty hard knock in my head to get my attention of what it would take normal people, or not normal, but other people, just a tap on the shoulder, a kind gesture, So I understand the need to teach me hardcore lessons in this life. Promise you that. Losing my mom at such a young age made me feel like I was lost, had no one, belonged to no one, and was just a drifting orphan in the wind, worthless, not good enough. But it taught me that even though not everyone can call their mommy and daddy when they need something, to bail them out, to bail them out of jail, to help them with the rent, help them take them in whenever they get homeless. I learned that even if you get yourselves in those situations, or find yourselves in those situations, then you are independent enough and strong enough without anyone to get out of it. You may have to go through it for a while, But you'll learn you're strong enough to, regardless of what you go through, what pain, what torture, what abuse. You will find the light out of it regardless, eventually. Nothing ever lasts forever. And just know that you are stronger for it. The strongest people are not the people who have the most things in their life or the more money. It's the people that can live without all that, with just themselves on independence. Just know that you are strong enough to get through everything that you are facing at this moment, and anything you face in the future. You are good enough, independent enough. And if you have no one else to tell you that, I'll tell you. And just talk to yourself. Take time. Do the hard work and turn in and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. I know it's a normal thing to talk to yourself. People deem it as not, but it is. If you can't give yourself your own advice, then who else is going to give it to you? Even if you do have parents, or a significant other, or a best friend, or someone that you can fall on sometimes, they're not always going to be there for you every second, or be there for you at that 3 o'clock in the morning moment where you just break down in tears and think the world's ending. At that moment, you will learn. When you have no one, you have yourself and you have survived with nothing but your breath and your willpower. God, universe, whatever you want to call it, has made you during this time for a specific reason. Whatever you go through, you are good enough and you are strong enough to get through it. It may not be fair, it may not be right, but God always gives His biggest battles to His strongest soldiers. Remember that. I'll catch you next time, the next episode. Until then, stay awesome, stay strong, and be you no matter what.